Hey guys, what's up? My name is lukemick. I'm really excited to see that you're here, and this is my review for The Guest. So The Guest is directed by Adam Wingard, who directed Your Next last year. He also directed some of the parts of the VHS films, and what this movie is about is a man who shows up at the doorstep of this family, and he claims that he was in the same unit as their son who was killed in combat in the war. And they decide to let this guy stay with them for a little while because he's a nice guy, he's handy, he helps them out a lot, and he's just nice to their kids, and they enjoy having him around. But then some really weird things start to happen in their community. A lot of strange government stuff starts to happen, and then everyone's a little skeptical and they're wondering if this guy really is who he says he is. Now this movie is a suspense thriller, and that's exactly what it does. It is suspenseful and it is really, really thrilling. So first of all, the performance in this movie from Dan Stevens, I believe his name is, he's the kind of the Marine guy who people don't really know, they don't know a lot about him. He did a really, really good job in this movie. He was really suave, he was cool, he just was really creepy and really strange in this movie, and I didn't really know who he was as an actor, but then I realized that he was in A Walk Among the Tombstones, that Liam Neeson movie that came out just last month, and this guy is really a good actor, and I thought he did an incredible job in this movie. All the performances in this movie are awesome, whether it's the mother, the father, the daughter, the son, all of them, and this movie has a lot of characters that you actually start to care about throughout the whole movie. Now this movie has an incredible tone. If you guys saw Your Next, you know that it gets a little cheesy and a lot of that 80s vibe towards the end of Your Next, and The Guest has that right from the get-go. There's lots of synth music in this movie, lots of just 80s pop, and a lot of music you'd probably hear in the movie Drive. And I really like that about this movie because the way that Adam Wingard, I think, directs his movies, and I think what he's going for when he does direct his movies is kind of like an homage to the 80s horror movies. And I think that's awesome because I love those slasher films, and that's exactly what he's doing with The Guest. Now The Guest isn't like a straight up horror movie, it's more so of a thriller or a suspense film, but it does a great job of creating that old classy tone that we got from the 80s horror movies. The payoff at the end of this movie is just incredibly awesome as well. There's all this tension that's been building up throughout the entire 1 hour and 40-minute runtime, and once it explodes in the last 20 to 25 minutes, it's just awesome. What I do think is not so great about this movie is that there are some like plot elements that really aren't explained, but I mean really you're not going to this movie to have like an incredible story. You're going to just have a really fun time and just kind of let your brain just turn off and watch an enjoyable movie that's similar to movies that came out in the 80s. So I'm going to give The Guest a 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's really awesome. I'm really happy that my movie theater actually picked this movie up because I live kind of in the Twin Cities area. I live about 20 minutes away from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and none of those theaters were playing this movie, and the only theater in like the entire state that was playing this movie was the one that's I'm literally 4 miles away from, and I thought that was pretty incredible that my movie theater picked The Guest up to show at their theater. I thought that was awesome. I really appreciate that they did that, and I'm really glad that I got to see The Guest because I thought it was pretty cool. So you guys, this is lukemick signing off. Please subscribe, and I'll talk to you all later.